name is Kathy, and today I'll be continuing the talk on the release stream. But before I do, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Today we will talk about another specific release stream theme and how to analyze them for yourself. Today, let's look at another two common release streams, the one where you dream of war and the one where you're aging. The release stream where you dream of war can be a harrowing experience, even in dreams. We can play the role of a soldier, a military hero, or a helpless victim. We can find ourselves planning a war or piloting a plane and about to drop a bomb. We may be saving others from the ravages of war or simply taking shelter somewhere, waiting until it's over. In some war dreams, we worry about the aftermath of war. Some people dream of conventional warfare, some of medieval wars, and some of a third world war filled with atomic glare. The release dream about the dream of war between two people, two countries, or two forces can symbolize conflicting beliefs, attitudes, or desires within the dreamer. And so a person who is struggling in their job may dream of opposing forces in battle, one representing a part of themselves that feels the need to stay in a boring job in order to provide for their family, and the other side representing their desire to liberate themselves and start a new company, no matter what the risk. People who have moral conflicts and divergent desires often use war to clarify both the force and the identity of their conflicting desires and needs. Frequently, people use war scenes to express the pain of having had warring parents. The release stream about war is considered by most experienced therapists that interpret dreams of war as having to do with personal or interpersonal conflict in the dreamer's life. When this type of release stream is analyzed, the dreamer it often turns out to be about the dreamer's personal or interpersonal conflicts, often referring to warring parents or to a warring husband and wife. Many dream analyzers will talk about this dream as if it were prophetic, but these concepts crumble when the dreamer is carefully interviewed. Such global warfare interpretations usually serve to help the dreamer avoid confronting the real issues in his or her own life. In our first example, we have a guru that was complaining of recurrent dreams of World War III breaking out. He was certain that these recurring dreams were predicting the future for humankind. When analyzed, the guru asked himself to describe the exact nature of the war in his dreams. He said this was the Third World War, a nuclear war, that would be the end of life as we know it on Earth. Everything we hold dear would be destroyed. All ecosystems as we understand them would be demolished. The war would be the result of humankind's lack of spiritual enlightenment. Next, he asked himself how he felt in the dream. He said he felt painful conflict witnessing two sides fighting and holding back nothing, fighting with their worst weapons and ready to destroy absolutely anyone. I asked him if there were any parts of his life right now or ever in his history that felt like a war where each side was willing to throw in its worst weapons and would hold nothing back to the point where the conflict was almost unbearable for him to stand. The guru suddenly realized, with great surprise, that his parents used to fight like that. They were both alcoholics, and he was always worried that the next fight would be the last, that something terrible would happen. He didn't know what. Maybe we would all die or something like that. He asked himself next if there was anything going on in his life right now that might trigger these painful feelings. He said he had started a new organization and had been appalled to see how much vicious fighting went on in this organization. He said he was worried that this fighting would ruin everything he had worked for so much of his life, trying to spread spiritual understanding and love in the world. He was a little reluctant to think that his dream could have such a mundane interpretation. But he said it certainly made sense that he would be as upset as he was in his current situation because he was so sensitized to this kind of conflict as a child. Often a personal, very particular interpretation is common for dreams of war. If you have such a dream, you will find that a careful dream interpretation interview will help you see what immediate practical applications your dream might have to your life. You might be relieved to find that your source of your dream is not a future Armageddon, but instead a past trauma that is rearing its ugly head again in your adult life. To help you analyze your dreams of war, ask yourself the following questions. 1. Describe the exact nature of the warfare in your dreams. 2. How do you feel during the dream action? Be as specific as you can come up with at least 3 adjectives. 3. Is there any situation in your life, now or in the past, where you feel you have felt the way you do in the dream? For example, are you having a similar conflict, or do you remember past conflict with your family, battles between your parents, or conflict in your life now between you and your spouse, your friends, or your co-workers? 4. Is there anything going on in your life right now that is like the war in your dreams? 5. If the enemy is clearly identified in your dream, describe the enemy, its personality, goal, and motivation. 6. Is there anyone in your life, any force in your life that fits the description of your dream enemy? 7. Is the way the war is being conducted in the dream parallel to how you are conducting the conflict in your waking life? If so, would you like to change that warfare? Sometimes the dreaming mind can help us prepare for and cope with the alarming experience of aging. In these dreams, we somehow notice that we're getting older. We may look in the mirror and see signs of age, or we may dream of older people who are not coping well with the loss of youth. People who are particularly attached to a self-image that is young seem to report more dreams that picture surprise and dismay at aging. Some people end their dreams with a maturing acceptance, while others panic. Dreams of aging can take on almost any imagery. As an example, a person who has been involved with strenuous sport may start to have dreams of becoming a spectator rather than a participant. They can learn through a series of dreams to accept a new position that, although perhaps less exciting, can still provide many of the pleasures of the sport and of life. When analyzing this release dream about aging, it's often misinterpreted as expressions of the fear of death, which they certainly can be, but are not always. Most therapists recognize that an important task in growing up is that of accepting the aging process and the transitions from one stage of life to another. In our first example, we have a woman who dreamt that she was looking in the mirror and she saw a number of white hairs and thought, "Oh, I have got cancer." When this woman analyzed her dream, she described having white hair as one of the first signs of aging in humans. She described cancer as a deadly wasting disease. She asked herself what in her life is like a cancer that is a deadly wasting disease. The woman was quite sure she was healthy, and she was quite sure that the white hair suggested her aging and losing her beauty. The dream helped her to reflect on her feelings about aging. She hadn't realized how deeply concerned she was about aging until she had this dream. In our next example of the release dream of aging, we have another woman who dreamt that she was looking in the mirror and noticed that the skin on her jowls was beginning to sag. She was shocked that at the age of 30, such a thing could be happening to her. She didn't like the look, and yet she said in the dream, This is inevitable. If I'm lucky enough to live, this will happen to me. Maybe it's already beginning to happen and I haven't even noticed it. This was a pretty fairly transparent dream for this woman. She was sad. It was her first inkling she would lose her beautiful face, and that within the dream itself, she was practicing accepting the inevitable. To help you analyze your dreams of aging, ask yourself the following questions. 1. Describe the indications of aging in your dream. 2. How do you feel in the dream about this aging? 3. How do most humans feel about aging? Why do they care? 4. Are you more worried about losing your youth than you have recognized? 5. What role does your concern about aging play in your major relationships and in your sense of yourself, both at work and at home? I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easy to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.